you briefly about the Iron Orchid Designs molds and clay. Specifically, I want to show you the difference between the old style molds and their new micro rim molds. Huge difference, huge. And we're going to talk about the Iron Orchid Designs air dry clay. Night and day. I didn't realize the difference. When they first came out with their products on their own, and they didn't have the clay, trust me, I went to the store like anybody else, and I used my coupons, and I have my two go-tos, and I thought everything was fine and dandy, and I'm pumping out the molds, and I'm decorating my furniture and my crafts and my whatnots, and then they came out with their own air dry clay, and they perfected it, and oh my God, it is perfection. And when I first got it, I thought, oh yeah, it works really easily, and I like it a lot, and it's easy to work with, whatever, right? And then, so I started working on this project, and as a lot of you might follow certain people on social media, you're probably getting the gist of where I'm going with this project. Using a lot of molds, and if you know what I mean, and so I'm running low on my air dry clay, and I go out and I get my other brand, you know, and I went and I used my coupon and everything, and I get it back here, and I'm go to use it, and not expecting a big difference. I struggled a little bit, and you'll see why. You're going to see the big difference between the other brands and the new Iron Orchid Designs IOD air dry clay and their molds. Stay tuned. So here we go. We are zoomed in, and I'm sorry for the mess, but like I said, I'm doing a lot of these, and all will be revealed soon. But I just wanted to go over, I really didn't realize how great, I love working with the molds, by the way, but I really didn't realize how great the Iron Orchid Designs new air dry clay works so well until I had to go back to another brand. And I'm not going to trash another brand, but it's one that you can get at the other stores, and it's pretty widely available. And it's actually a pretty good one. I was always happy with this until I met up with Iron Orchid Designs clay. So here it is. I actually had a piece I already rolled, but look what happens. It already wants to break apart. And I've already somewhat, you know, manipulated this a little bit beforehand. Just want it. This is like night and day. So here it is, it's kind of crackling, it just wants to do that. Here's the difference. And this is actually a really nice, this was always so much easier than another brand that I tried. Because that one was so hard. It was not as it was a drier mix, I guess. I don't want to say the nasty M word. But, so I'm just going to use a little bit of the cornstarch in the mold, and I'm going to press this other brand clay into the mold. And this is this is another thing we're going to show. We're going to show the vintage molds versus the new micro rim molds. So I find with this, it's just you can't really use the knife until the end, because what ends up happening is if I try and do this, at some point it pulls out. See, there we go. It pulls out. All right. So then another thing I try with this particular and the other brands is I find pulling with the knife wasn't really working. So I was kind of cutting off the top layer what I could, but I'm always getting a little bit out of the mold when I'm doing this, but it gets me close, and then I go back over, and you know, it's really not too bad, right? It's not the end of the world to get some cool molding, right? So let's finish working this with our fingers, because this is really kind of the easiest thing to do at this point. And this is with the older molds. what we call the vintage, so they don't have the micro rim. And again, we're manipulating this, and we're trying to, right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to really work it in there because of the cracking. I don't want that, but it will. It'll do more than I want, but okay, now we're gonna let gravity do its work. So we're not putting a lot of stress on the clay, pulling it outward so it dries that way. It'll, I find if you kind of relieve the pulling of the clay as much as you can, it helps prevent cracking no matter what clay you're working with. All right, so that really actually came out pretty good. I really pushed it in there. There is a little bit of crackling, but watch what happens if I want to bend things. Oh, look at that. It bends and it cracks, and it's, you know, it's not very friendly. You got to be really careful. And some of them I found it really doesn't like to bend very well. Now, to be even and everything else, I'm pulling off a chunk of the Iron Orchid Designs air dry clay and working it. It's not crackly. I'm giving it a little pressure like I did the other one. I'm pulling it apart a little bit, and it's not crackling. And now I find it has enough water consistency in it or whatever. I don't want to say the M word. But just enough that, you know, it does require a little cornstarch in there. And I'm just going to start this a little bit. Push it in. Boom, boom, boom. And this is with the harder mold. This doesn't have the micro rim. And I find every time that this works so much better with the right clay. Look, I'm pulling, and it's so much easier to do it this way. This is a quality product. It really is. And for someone who really likes to work with the molds and adding details to the furniture and craft projects and whatnots, it really makes a difference. And I'm pulling it out, letting gravity take its place on here. Now watch. I can bend this. It's not cracking like it did with the other clay. And there's less crackling in there. And if I'm pushing this together when I'm applying it, right, it's really gonna, see, I'm pushing inward, and I'm trying to push it inward just a hair, so that when it dries, it's not, you know, it hasn't had that stress of being stretched out. So there's a little lesson in the two different clays. Let me also show you the micro rim. And I think probably the best way, and instead of having to do it with both, let's see what happens with just the other clay. The other man's clay. Let's see here. This is Classic Elements mold from Iron Orchid Designs. We lovingly say IOD. And it's funny how IOD has now become a noun. It has become a verb. Even my kids, now we see something that has some molding details, or it looks like it could be a transfer, or it's got twall, and my kids will say, "Oh, IOD, Mom." Why don't you IOD your car, Mom? And at least Tango's being quiet now. See, it's not pulling out as much as it was with the other mold. But, you know, it's still a little bit of challenge because of this other clay. We just need to expose it to that rim. And boom. Right, I am going to show you the same thing with the IOD clay, because it's night and day, people. It really is, and I can't stress it enough. Working with the right materials will make your life so much easier. Right, just get it in there, smooshing it in there. Right? Oh, being in a rush doesn't help me anyhow. But here we go. I'm not even using the gravity thing. We're just doing an example here. So much easier. Look at no cracking. What a breeze to use this clay. So, enough said. Let's see if I can't use this piece since I've got it done. No, I can't use this one. So let's see. Let's work with one I know I'm going to be using is what do you think? Oh my gosh, I could have used it there. No. We're going to not use that one. Let's see. Oh, we'll use this. Again, let me show you how easy this is. Little cornstarch. Roll it, press it. I mean really, I love working with the molds. And it's not scary, and it really doesn't take that. Oops, sorry about that. Working in a tight space here, but I'm trying to get you a nice and close view of what's happening. So, I think that could work. Right, and then let's get something in down here. What will that be? Let's get this out of the way. Luckily I'm a stockist, so I do have access to a lot of the molds. Because we're doing this as we go. Oh, this could be interesting. Could we get, no, that won't work. We're gonna be using that other one we had out with the back plates, I do believe. Where did it go? Oh, this could work. It's another vintage piece from IOD. Doesn't have the micro rim. Yay big, and let's see, maybe this one. It's like a puzzle. If you guys like puzzles, this would be a good project for you. I'll be posting the finished product somewhat soon. It's been an interesting go of it. It's getting the time of year where I'm at where people are popping in and saying hi, and it's hard for me to get quality time done, plus everything else that I'm working on. But here, see, I think, oh yeah, that works out nicely. And it's not bore you to death. Oh, and my glue fell down. I just want to show you, yes, you don't wait for this to cure. If you hear a noise, it's me shaking the glue. You're gonna glue it right away. Come on, glue. Yeah, I have one over here. So now, right, so much easier. Boom. It's still wet, as you can see, and then I have this little handy stick, and I'm using that to spread it. There's no heavy odors. It's really easy to work with. Actually too much glue. You don't need a lot. And we'll use some on here because you don't need a lot, like I said. Get it onto the edges as well as you can. And more glue on this one. Right? This is so easy. And I've heard people are, you know, a little intimidated. And I'll tell you, I was a little intimidated to try the quick set resin. Oh, shame on me, I'll tell you. That's my new best friend. It works really well. And quick set resin is not a product that Iron Orchid Designs has. But you can buy at the craft stores. The one I used was the Amazing resin, and boom, press down. And you don't even need to tape this because I have this piece on its back, so press it together, press it inward. Help keep the crackling from happening, and really this clay doesn't do it very easily. It's not like the others. It really isn't. So that's that. You get the idea. I'm going to keep going, and at some point we're going to be posting this on our page, and you'll see the end results. So you can do this. If you have any questions, comment below, and if you like what you saw and want to show your friends how easy this is, please share. We'd really appreciate it. We are a small business. So what did you think? I hope you can make out that difference. I think it's pretty obvious. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Any questions, comments, just to say hi. We'd really appreciate it if you could show that you care and share. That helps a small business out. And until next time, bye-bye.